Good morning and happy bank holiday. Feels like a weird bank holiday, I must say, but nonetheless, if you're watching live or later on, give me a hello, let me know you're watching, let me know if you found it helpful as well. So, what I want to talk to you about today is something that I notice quite often, and I think it's very relevant to our relationship with food, plus one little tip to help with tiredness that might just be something to implement for yourself, because I had this question yesterday, so I thought I'd chuck it in here too. So it's interesting when we're at a meal time, etc., or breakfast, lunch, dinner, whatever time it is. My daughter might sit there. Some days she'll just eat her food, eat it all up, and other days she'll have a bit and then walk out the room. Now, this must have been about 6 months ago, probably a bit longer actually. She sat down, 3-year-old, morning Sue, and she sat down and she started eating her dinner, and then she was like, just went, I'm finished. And I was like, okay. She didn't really eat much, and I ended up eating a little bit of her dinner, and then she walked back in probably about 5 minutes later, and was like, oh, where's my dinner gone? And I was like, oh, I thought you finished. And then she was like, oh. And then she wanted more. She didn't really understand that if you say you're finished then, doesn't mean it's finished forever. And I was like, oh, I feel really bad now. And to the extent where for a little bit of time after, if she ever left the table to go to the toilet or anything like that, she'd go, you won't touch my dinner, will you? And I was like, oh, I mean, I'm being, literally, this is accountability times 1 million at the moment. My 3-year-old daughter's keeping me accountable to stop eating her leftovers. So anyway, this has really helped me, because I would pick at their leftovers, but actually what we found is sometimes she'll eat like 2 plates, sometimes she'll just eat a little bit. But actually, if we leave her dinner there, she might come back in a few hours if she's hungry and have it there, rather than snacking on stuff like crisps, chocolate, that we often do, right? We might try and have a small meal, then we're hungry a little bit later, whereas we just leave her meal there and she comes back in. Now, my point with this is a really simple one, in that if you think about kids, they're very in tune with their hunger levels. They don't really have much of an emotional relationship with food at that stage. Now, when you think about all the kind of barriers and rules we put in place, morning Kirsty, put in place around eating and meals, like we eat at this time, it's 12 o'clock, I best eat. If you just be mindful of how out of tune we kind of are with what hunger is, like do you feel any physical cues when you feel hungry? Like, do you feel any physical cues? Do you feel any rumbling of the stomach? Do you feel a sense of urgency to eat? Is that more related to the psychological side? So you have physical hunger and you have psychological hunger. Psychological hunger might be like an apple wouldn't do, but you're hungry, right? It might be like feeling of guilt after eating. It might be in relation to how you feel, stressed, tired, bored. Really notice how you feel. It comes on all of a sudden. That's psychological hunger. Compare that to physical hunger. An apple would do. You might have some feeling of hunger. You generally have a sense of satisfaction afterwards. You can kind of wait, but you're feeling hungry. Just being aware of that, because kids are so in tune. Because I get asked this question quite a lot, like what's your recommendations with like kids eating? And I actually just think just let them. They'll eat when they're hungry. And I think the more we force it, we almost make it into a bigger deal than it is. And I know it's hard. For example, if I cook like a really nice meal to me, and then they're like, oh, they're not even eating it. It's a bit like, there's a temptation to go, yeah, but so-and-so made that for you. I almost think, although we mean well, it's almost the worst thing to do, because it makes this into this big event, right? Anyway, just wanted to touch on that. Let me know your experiences with that and if you can relate to that. Either way, it stopped me from finishing her dinner. So win-win. Anyway, even if you just believe that and just stop finishing their dinner, that's a good win. The second one was a bit about tiredness. So had a question yesterday about, and this was from one of the ladies on the program. She is vegetarian, so we were going through. She said, "I'm feeling tired quite a lot," and she's only recently kind of gone more that way. She used to have some more meat days, and obviously this is without a test or anything like that. But iron levels are something to think about. And I say recently, this has been about 3 to 5 months. And then 6 months before that, gradually going towards it. She said she feels tired a lot. And we went through kind of iron and how this is related to it, plus vitamin B as well. But iron sources, you've got two types. You've got heme and non-heme. So heme and non-heme. Non-heme isn't very absorbable at all. So these are found in plants, vegetables, grains. So there is iron in it, and you might see it on a packet sometimes. Sometimes it might promote it. But this is non-heme iron. This isn't very absorbable in the body. Compare that to heme iron. Heme iron is found in like meat, like red meat, chicken, poultry, etc. This is very absorbable. So the amount you actually get, the actual amount is in it, you pretty much absorb a high amount of it compared to the non-heme, which is found in vegetables, grains, etc. Now, we just went through some simple ways to increase that absorption. Number one would be to get rid of tea and coffee around when you have those iron sources of non-heme iron sources. So like if you're having lots of veggies, a meal, for example, try and avoid tea and coffee before and after, because that will inhibit the absorption, because the tannins bind to iron receptors. So doing that like before and after a meal can help with that. So if you're having like lentils or something like that, or vegetables, or even a meal, you will get some. But to increase that absorption, limit there. Number two is add vitamin C to the non-heme iron source, and you can increase it. So it might be like after my meal, I have an orange or a grapefruit or some blueberries, because they're high in vitamin C. So you can increase it, or you could just supplement with vitamin C, but whole foods are superior. So little things like that can actually increase the absorption of iron. Obviously you can supplement as well with an iron supplement, but probably best getting them tested. But yeah, just a few tips there that might be like worth considering if you are vegetarian or you don't eat red meat or meat or anything like that. Hope that helps. And any questions, as always, let me know. I am pretty much sure that I'll be running a free 7-day kickstart for a small group of local ladies next week. So this will be a small group where I just kind of show you real simple, step-by-step, simple ways to get started with the exercise, get started with the nutrition. So there'll be live coaching, nutrition plan, like really simple and flexible to follow. Work a short 10-minute workout every day. If you are struggling, like to kind of get that motivation, but you pretty much know what to do, I'm going to put it down into a real simple, almost like one page in your face, done. So get started and just start building up momentum. If you do want to join with that, comment below, let me know you're interested, because I will be releasing details soon, but it will be for a small group because I'm just seeing how it goes, really. And yeah, completely free. Thought I'd throw it out there. If you're interested in that, comment below, let me know, and I'll get you some details when they are released, when I kind of put it out there. So, any questions, let me know. Have a great day, and speak soon.